Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 3:30 IG Live. Just give it a second for people to hop on. You guys have had a lot of me today. I apologize. So my name is Kim and I'm the fitness coordinator for Seneca, York. And today is Monday, so it is Motivational Mondays. And I am going to get you motivated for the weekend. So, so where to start? Let's see. Going back many years, right before the dinosaurs disappeared. Hi. Everyone's jumping on now. Hello, friends. My name's Kim and I'm a fitness instructor, fitness coordinator at Seneca, York. I gave myself a demotion. Pretty sure I deserve it today. So welcome to Motivational Mondays. Today the theme is the last leaf. And I just started explaining to friends that sometimes we all go through some rough spots. And this is the reason why we have Motivational Monday, is to try and get you uplifted, try and get you thinking in a different way, and try and get you through the rest of the week. Because Mondays can be rough, life can be rough. I think we've all determined that this year. So many years ago, back when I was a little bit younger in high school, I had two major life-changing events within about 6 months. And it was tough, but thankfully I did have a teacher who was looking out for me. Hi. So she was my English teacher, and she realized that I needed a little bit of motivation. I needed a little bit of a pick-me-up. So she introduced me to a short story, because she knew that I liked to read, because she was an avid reader as well, and we usually bounced books off each other and talked about it as well. So that was our relationship, and it's always nice to have a teacher who is like that. And I think many of us can go back and think about a teacher we had who we absolutely adored and we had a strong connection with. And they're usually the ones that got us through rough times or were looking out for us. So this English teacher of mine passed me a short story, told me to read it over the weekend. The story is by O. Henry, not the chocolate bar, the author. And he has written many stories, short stories, long stories. He is a well-known author, and he lived from 1862 to 1910, so many years ago, and through a very difficult time as well. And one of the stories that he wrote is called The Last Leaf. And no, it's not about the Toronto Maple Leafs. It is a very heartwarming story about hope and kindness. So in this, and while I'm doing this, I will actually make a project for you, because this is one of the things that I do every year, is I read the story around this time of year and I make some sort of project with it. That way I can pass it on to someone that I know needs a pick-me-up as well. So in this story, it takes place in Greenwich Village, probably around the turn of the 1900s there. It wasn't much further into it. And at that time, Greenwich Village, as I'm pasting leaves here, was kind of known as an artsy place. So a lot of artists went there to buy because it was picturesque, the rent was cheap, and they lived in there and they bounced ideas off each other. The problem is in November, pneumonia hit that area. And back then, pneumonia wasn't easily cured as it is now. There wasn't any antibiotics. There wasn't really any medication that they could rely on to do it. It was mostly through will and careful nursing from friends and family. So two young women who were sharing an apartment were both artists. One of them, named Joanna, actually fell down with pneumonia. And the doctor gave her a 1 in 10 chance to survive. And she wasn't doing too well. And the doctor kind of told the friend, Sue, that Joanna needed a reason to survive. She needed a reason to live. She was beyond that point where medication wasn't going to help, nursing wasn't going to help. She had to do it herself. And back then, that was a lot of the doctoring, a lot of the medicine that we had was you kind of had to find a way. So Sue tried. She went in, she started painting, she was talking to her friend, and couldn't figure out what Joanna was counting because all she could hear was a countdown going on. And Joanna was facing, her bed was facing an ivy plant that was out the window. And on that ivy plant, there's maybe only about 15 leaves left because it was November. And one by one, the leaves were falling off. And Joanna said to her friend, when the last leaf goes, that'll be time for me to go. I know you're thinking, how is this motivational? It's kind of a downer right now, but it does get better. So Sue tried to talk her out of it, tried to say, like, we can go do stuff in the spring. You have to find a way to get out of this funk. And Joanna had her mind set up. So Sue told her to get some rest and left because she had an appointment to work on a portrait with another resident of the building, an older gentleman who was from Germany. And while they were doing their artwork, while the gentleman was posing, he did ask about Joanna, and Sue laid it out for him and said, she's not doing well. She seems to think when the last leaf falls, that will be it for her. So the gentleman decided that night to take a paintbrush, take some paint, go outside in the middle of the storm. He saw the last leaf fall. Joanna didn't because she was asleep. And he decided to paint a leaf on the wall, right where the ivy vine was. The next morning, Joanna woke up to find that leaf still there. And it was blowing. It wasn't really blowing in the wind, but it had withstood the storm. The next day she woke up again, the leaf was still there. And finally on the third day she woke up again, and the leaf was still there. On the fourth day, she turned to her friend and she said, give me some broth, give me some TLC. I'm going to be here forever, because that leaf has not fallen. So the moral of the story is that sometimes with a little bit of hope and a lot of kindness, we can get ourselves out of funks. So on this Motivational Monday, as you see me pasting leaves together, I'll show you what it's going to look like at the end. So these are just leaves that I picked up outside. I dried, it was a little bit wet, and then I pressed. So you just put them in a book, and that's what gets them nice and flat. It doesn't have to be a heavy book. Mine was just a crossword book that I put some weights on, and I flattened them out. And all I'm using is school glue, and I'm putting it down on a black canvas. And why I'm doing this is, it's just a reminder that leaves do fall, but the best thing about it is in spring they regrow. So if we do have a little bit of hope and we have some kindness in our lives, we can get through anything. And at this time of year, especially with Thanksgiving coming, and a lot of us may not be able to join our families for dinner or our friends, just because of COVID that's going around. It's actually a great story for a year where we have had a virus go around that has been very dangerous, and we've had to roll back a few things. So if you can't get to your family, maybe it's time to spread a little bit of kindness to someone else and get them through a dark period. So it could be dropping off some food at the food bank. It could be saying hi to someone sitting on the bench who looks a little bit down. It could be calling up a friend who you know might be a little bit blue at this time of year. It could be connecting with your family through Zoom. And so this is what it looks like when it's finished. So these are the leaves, and I have sprayed it with a gloss to make it permanent. It also gives that little bit of a shine because the leaves can get quite dull. And you can see the canvas has a shine as well. And this is going to a friend of mine who is having a little bit of a rough time. So I'm hoping with a little bit of kindness and a little bit of hope that she'll be able to get through it. So thank you so much for tuning in today. That was a very long story. I was going to read it all to you, but I figured, hey, story time with Kim, probably not something you guys are interested in. Maybe if we were all in kindergarten, then it would have been right on. But thank you so much for tuning in for today, and welcome to Motivational Monday. Remember, spread some hope, spread some kindness. Be well, be safe, be healthy. We'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. for another IG Live, which will go over some of our programs. Tomorrow we have fitness classes starting at 12:40 on Zoom. You can connect through our website at senecasting.ca. Sarah will be doing HIIT, which is high intensity interval training. And then we also have IG Live tomorrow at 3:30. Sarah and I will be talking about keeping fitness levels up, and then weight training for women tomorrow at 4. Tuesday's going to be a big day. Then you can tune in tomorrow to find out what's happening Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, because I'm running out of time. Thanks very much, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. Take care.